What is going on, guys? It's Reflex here, and welcome to the Q&A for 800 subscribers. Now, we actually have a decent amount of questions, and now, if I do miss your question, that is because I am recording this 12 hours after the Send In Your Questions video was there. So, I gave kind of a bit of a leeway to put in your questions. So, if I did miss you, I apologize, but also, you should have been there when I uploaded the video, just saying. But no, thanks to all the people that actually sent in the questions, and I'm excited to actually do another one of these. So, let's get right into the Q&A. Now, these first list of questions comes from Buggy Fresh Gaming. You guys probably heard of Buggy. He appeared on one episode of Talk the Show on this channel, as well as I mentioned him at least 40 times on this channel since, we've actually became like YouTube buddies. I think back February of 2017. So we actually been friends for almost a whole year, which is kind of crazy. But he asks, his first question is, what was the greatest clip you hit? And honestly, that has to be in between the 10-man like quad refill times 5 on wet work, or my very first clip on BO2 that I ever hit when I was still like a squeaker, which was a 5-on times 2 headshot on Nuketown. Now, I was on demolition, so that automatically makes it unusable, but I'm still very proud of that clip. I still have that clip actually documented. It's on my top 10 clips of 2017, I believe. That one was kind of like I think it was like just an honorable mention or something, but yeah, that one is documented in there, and that might be a little bit of an edge over my favorite clip, just for the reason that I love that clip a lot, because it made me get into sniping a little bit more, because I was like, I really am capable of this. Even though it was demolition, it gave me false hope, but I think it turned out okay. Now, the next question is, how has the community changed in your eyes? Now, if we're talking about the sniping community, now that has changed in the standards and the way people see clips. And what I mean by this is there's a lot more ego now when it comes to the sniping community. You cannot be like a sniper that's just doing it for fun and not get criticized. And why I say this is because so many people comment what game modes you play, how you hit your clip, what you did in your clip. Like, there's so much that goes into it now that people let their egos just talk shit on other people's clips, which I sincerely hate, which is why I pride myself in my montages, because I use safeguard clips. I use drop zone clips when I did. It doesn't even matter, honestly. I use any clips that I like to do because I like to play the modes I like. I'm not gonna, use like a certain clip just because the community says, oh no, you can't use this. No, it's for fun. I'm doing this for fun. And that's honestly how the community changed. Back in the day, triple feeds were okay, demolition was okay, safeguard probably would have been okay back then if it was actually, BO3 was released back then. But it changed because egos have changed and teams gotten bigger, standards have gotten higher, which makes it harder for the little guy to even get motivated because people always talk him down. So honestly, that's how I see it changes in my eyes. That's just how I feel. Now, the next question is, how long has it been since you shaveth that beard? Now, it's been, actually, I shaved it off December 25th. Right after all the opening presents and all the parties we had to go to and visiting family. As soon as that was all done, I got a haircut and shaved off my beard. Now, if you're wondering if it grew back, yes, it grew back. It grew back literally like a month later. It is perfectly I can say grew back. Not all the way, not like burly like it was, which kind of makes me sad. I wanted to get back to that point, but it's still, yes, it has grown back. But yeah, I have shaved it off a month ago, and it honestly made me sad that I did that, but it felt better for the time, and then I realized it was winter, so my face was cold, so I was very pissed about that. But now it's growing back, it kind of feels like a scarf on my face, so I'm happy about that. The next question he asks, do you like the Fallout series? Now, you're probably going to hate me, and a lot of people are going to hate me on this one, but I've never played a Fallout game in my life, not one. So I can't say I hate it, and I can't say I like it. It looks fun, it really does. I've seen Buggy play it. I've seen numerous other people play it, and they all said it's fun. It looks fun. I just never played it, so I can't really give a valid opinion on this. But, like I said, it looks fun. Now, his next question, I'm actually happy he asked this question. It says, what's your favorite scene in The Walking Dead? Now, my favorite scene in The Walking Dead is the scene, I believe, is when everyone came back to Alexandria, after Daryl blew up Negan's men with a rocket launcher, and they were on their way back. Then Glenn was, on his way back to Alexandria as well, and then they were all, pretty much the whole community came together, when Rick was going, outside because all the walkers were coming in, and then he lost, I believe her name was, what was her name, Jessie? Was it Jessie? I forget, I don't remember her name. I really do forget. Like, that just shows how unimportant she was. But then when I think it was Sam that died too. But all them, like, just that whole entire scene when all the community came together and they showed that little montage of everyone basically working together to kill the walkers, because it all started when, you know, Rick's new lover pretty much got killed and Carl got shot in the eye, and pretty much he was like just in that Rick zone, you know, the Rick rage that we all know and love, and he held on to that axe, and then he just walked out the door by himself, and he didn't give no fucks. And then he was starting to, you know, kill all these zombies or walkers, and then the rest of the community was around him, and, you know, basically just, you know, started fighting the walkers with him. And then it cut to this beautiful montage where it showed everyone hitting a walker. And then it got to a point, and many people don't realize it, but the background slowly faded to where it was all black, and it was just showing the community hitting the walker, but it was showing them like in a close-up, you know, like kind of range. I'll probably be playing as I'm talking, but it was showing that little montage look, and it just looked so beautiful. And it ended with Rick hitting the last walker, and it was the most beautifulest thing I've ever seen. It was my favorite scene in all The Walking Dead, just because how, you know, impactful that was for that scene itself. It showed the community actually coming together and helping Rick, realizing that Rick is their leader that they need. And it was just such a great scene. It was my favorite scene. That is my favorite scene. And honestly, I'm glad you asked that question. Now, these next questions come from Psycho for Pizza, and she asks, have you ever loved a stuffed animal? Now, I can't say I do now, but when I was a kid, there was a bunny. And the reason why I love this bunny stuffed animal so much is because I believe it was bought for me when I was a baby, and I was put to bed with this bunny by my side. And I remember liking this, and I don't know if it's still around. Probably is. I bet my mom probably has it somewhere. But I remember liking that bunny, like, just for the life of me. I just loved that bunny for a very long time. Now, I mean, I still like it today, but I don't think I'd hug it like I did when I was a little kid. But still, it was a very that was the only stuffed animal I think I had and that I loved. Now, the next question is, what do you think your greatest trick shot was? Now, my greatest trick shot when I did trick shot, and people don't understand, I can trick shot, I just don't. I don't because I just like, I don't know, I like feeding better. That's just what I like to do. But my best trick shot was on Carrier. It was a 17, I think it was 1780 or whatever they called it. I don't know the numbers anymore. But it was a suicide under the map when I was playing with Obey. I think it was Obey Avon at that time. You know, because I had a lot of pull back then, so I could have gotten to a team if I actually cared. But I hit this Sui on Carrier under the map on search, and it was the most. I'd never heard people get so hype over what I hit, and I'm a stone cold assassin when I hit clips, and when I hit that, I was still a stone cold assassin, and everyone else was freaking out like, oh my god, what the, you know, doing the things that trick shotters normally do. And I was just like, what the heck just happened? Like, that was my thing. I think I was stunned, and that's why I didn't exactly actually, you know, react the way I should have. But yeah, that was the greatest trick shot I've ever hit to this day, and I think it'll probably be the only trick shot I actually cared about hitting to this day as well. The next, will you cut the beard? No. No. I will not cut the beard unless I get a job that requires me to do so, or if I just need to trim it up a little bit. But cut it off? No, I will not. I will not cut my beard off. No. That's sacred. It's just sacred, okay? The next question is, what do you think about YouTube Rewind? Now, what I think about YouTube Rewind this year, it was terrible. It was utter terrible. They had a lot of content creators that no one knew. Maybe in a foreign country they knew of them, but as a mainstream one, no. They had all these people that no one even cared about, honestly. They had, and I believe they had, you know, all the Viners that no one cared about, all these vloggers that no one really cared about, and it was just boring. It honestly was boring. I still watched it because, I mean, even if it was content creators I didn't care about, I still watch it to see what they do. And nothing. It was just nothing. Nothing was creative enough for me. Nothing really felt nice. I mean, the coolest thing that I thought was Despacito. And the thing is, as mainstream as that song was, and as cool as, you know, I like that everyone kind of, you know, grew to that song, even though it was annoying to some people. I liked it because I was a fan of Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee before that was even, like, before people even realized, like, people liked this Despacito song, and it was like, oh yeah, but I liked them beforehand. So hearing that, I was like, yeah, I like this song. And I seen it was the most viewed music video of all time. So the fact that they appeared on YouTube Rewind, I was like, all right, you know, show him some love. I like that. So that was the main part I liked about it, but I did not like it overall as a whole, you know, just as what they do. It's been going downhill, so I think since 2014, like that was the last good one, and then ever since then it's been going downhill. So yeah. This next question is from Rodball C, and he asks, you think we could get a collab going, or maybe just play sometime? And it depends on the playing. It depends, and probably on the collabing too. It honestly depends on whether or not you have Xbox or not, because I mean, I have a PS4, I just don't have anything to play on it, like other than single player games, and you can't really collab on that. But honestly, if you have Xbox, just hit me up and maybe we can collab sometime. So the answer is yes. Now this next question comes from Nightwing2244, and this is actually an OG subscriber from, like, I think the beginning of this channel. Like, he was actually there from the start. He asked the question back on our the first actual Q&A that I have done. So it's kind of cool to see a question from him. But he asked, will you ever upload live commentaries? And well, it depends on what you mean by live commentaries. Now, if you mean by live commentaries as in no cuts in my actual commentary, I never do cuts. It's always live. I've been doing live commentaries since January is when I started them, and I've been doing live commentaries since then. Like, don't think I've done a cut in a commentary for a very, very, very long time. But now, if you mean like a live commentary while I'm playing a game, I'm actually planning on doing Let's Plays very soon, and people complained back in the day that they were only like 10 minutes long, so they're going to be a lot longer, from like 25 to 40 to 50 minutes long. So if you guys enjoy that, we'll be doing those very soon. So yeah, the answers I kind of already am, and then yes in the future. The next question comes from Juiceman Benji Gaming, and he asks, who inspired you to do voice impressions? Now, inspired me now, like to do them now, is Brizzy Voices and Mikey Bolts, and a little bit of I think his name is Brock Baker, but they all three have inspired me to do voice impressions for the channel in this past year, just because, you know, I've been watching them for a very, very, very long time. But my first actual doing voice impressions didn't really come from a voice impressionist, but rather all the voice actors on the games that I love. Now, when I was in, I think it was the beginning of high school, and even like 7th grade, I remember playing Metal Gear Solid, and I remember actually I'd been trying to do Snake's voice for a very long time, like a very long time. Probably in 5th grade is when I first tried a voice impression of Snake, and as you guys could imagine, that was just a squeaker that was trying to have a raspy voice and couldn't do it. And I've been trying his voice for so long, but trial and error, I ended up doing Snake's voice in, like, I think the beginning of high school, and it actually sounded decent. They're like, hey man, that actually sounds like Snake. And people would say sometimes that it sounds exaggerated. It's not entirely true, for the reason that there's 3 different styles of snakes, and I will get into this in a different video, because I actually have a new series that I want to start, and I will also get into that in a brand new video. But who inspired me? David Hayter. Like, this is for the start of my voice impression, just one to start. David Hayter, Quentin Flynn, Sean Schimmel, Christopher Sabat. Those 4 very well-known voices in my childhood of all my favorite characters. One, Vegeta from Christopher Sabat, as well as Piccolo. Sean Schimmel from Goku and King Kai and all that, you know, because Goku's the unobtainable voice. I have not seen a person on YouTube that can actually do Goku's voice at all. And then you have Quentin Flynn, voice of Axel or Raiden, or Raiden, whatever you want to say, but Raiden, and basically that's my favorite character in both, well, not in Metal Gear, but my favorite character in Kingdom Hearts is Axel. He used to be in my logo at one point, but yeah. And then we have David Hayter, the voice of Snake, the one voice that I wanted to learn ever since I was a kid, and that honestly got me into voice impressions, and it's the reason that I do a lot of things. Like now, you know, I never thought I could be able to do voice impressions, but the fact that I can is awesome, like, honestly. So hopefully that answers your question. The next questions come from Tony Rawgazer, and he asks, where do you see yourself down the line? Now, where do I see myself? Honestly, I'm not really one to look down the line and try to see exactly what's going to be happening in the future. I like to stay in the present. I like to, like, plan things, but I don't really plan on what I'm going to see myself doing in the future. I always couldn't answer those questions, even in school, when it had you, like, write a report. It's never been something that I like doing, so I don't think I can start now, but I mean, I see myself uploading another video tomorrow. Hopefully that's a good enough answer for your question. The next question is, do you see yourself still doing YouTube in the future? And the answer is yes. I'm going to do YouTube as long as the platform is still around. Like, I will, even with all these issues, I still don't want to stop. I still don't want to stop. And I mean, I've been through the apocalypse. I've been through this problems that's going to be starting to happen. I've been through, you know, the part where they were actually just taking down videos for no apparent reason, and that's happened to me on my comeback. I mean, I've been having issues with YouTube for a very long time, and I still haven't stopped, and I don't see myself ever stopping. The next question is, how or what inspired you to do what you do as a creator? And the answer is Jev. Now, this was a video on, I believe, my last channel, and it was called Thank You Jev. And basically, actually I think it was 2 channels ago. Let me rephrase that. It was 2 channels ago. Thank you, Jev. And I remember it was actually my first video that ever got 100 views as well. And I had 100 subscribers when that video went up. So that's just telling you something. But it was called Thank You, Jev. And I was basically saying how he basically kept me composed and happy in my life, and it made me want to make other people feel the same way that I felt when I was feeling down and just watching YouTube. So that's the same thing I wanted to do for others. So honestly, that's the whole reason. Jev is the absolute only reason that I did YouTube. It was the only reason, to make other people feel good the way I wanted to feel when I was feeling down. And that's the whole philosophy of it for me. The moment that people start saying that, you know, your videos don't make me feel as happy as they used to, or something like that, that might be the thing that makes me stop doing YouTube. The moment I feel as if I can't give people that enjoyment anymore is the moment that I think I'll stop. But that's the whole entire answer. That is, Jev is the reason that I started YouTube. The next question comes from iLatis, and he asks, what is your favorite fighting game? Now, a lot of people probably are going to be like, oh, does this count as a fighting game? And I mean, competitive wise, it does not. But my favorite fighting game is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I put so many hours into this game. So many. I love the whole Budokai series. Tenkaichi didn't do it for me. Tenkaichi 2 did not do it for me. But Tenkaichi 3 did. But my favorite, all-time favorite fighting game as of right now, maybe Dragon Ball FighterZ might take that place. But Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 is my all-time favorite. I mean, I've put like a whole bunch of hours into that game. I've fully completed it. It was the first game I have ever completed in my life. And I remember playing it on the difficulty very hard, and then it said, alright, you've been awarded Z1. Well, it was just called Z at Z difficulty, and then you had to beat that, the whole entire story on that, and then you unlock Z2 and then Z3. Those were the utmost, that was the hardest difficulty in that game, and I completed it. I put so many hours into that game, and I just loved every minute of it. I did every single thing you can think of. I unlocked everyone. I did everything. Like, that is my favorite fighting game of all time. And honestly, maybe Dragon Ball FighterZ can take that place, but I don't see it taking it, honestly. Like, I don't. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 is my favorite. So, that's just how I can answer that question. Because I never put so much time into a game other than Dark Souls. And, I mean, I probably, if Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 had an actual time log on how much time you put into it, I might be able to say that I put more time into that than any other game. But I really couldn't answer the question. But yes, hopefully that answers your question, that is my favorite fighting game. Now at this point, I just cut out a whole bunch because it was just a brief, like, long pause. And at this point, I just want to say that it is the cutoff time. So if you got to this point and you did not hear your question, that is because I actually waited an extra hour for any, you know, straggler questions that just got sent in. So if I did miss your question, I do apologize. It will be in the next one for 900 subscribers. And hopefully you can get in for that. I will remember whose questions I may have missed, and I will log them for the next, 900 sub, Q&A that I will do. But until then, guys, thank you guys for all the love and support, and hopefully we can keep growing like we've been and just having this consistent base that we have right now. And I just appreciate all the support and love that you guys have been giving me. And honestly, I'm glad to do this Q&A. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks to Buggy Fresh. Thanks to Lattice. Thanks to Tony Raw Gazer, Psycho for Pizza, Nightwing, Rod Ball. And thanks for the viewers that, might have not have sent the questions, but I know is always watching, like South Texas Fail. We got Flame Master Z. We got It The Wiz. I always don't like saying your name for the reason it makes my voice feel weird when I say it. Like, I don't know, it just sounds weird coming from me. But yeah, and thanks to all the people that watch my videos. I honestly do appreciate it, and hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and the Q&As. Like I did say though, if I did miss your question, I do apologize. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, leave a like, subscribe, and you guys know the drill. I will see you guys later.